So before we start, just about anybody that knows me knows I'm a man of prayer, and I believe in prayer. I believe that Jesus listens. So I would like to ask Summer if she would come up and pray to open the service. Amen. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Miss Olivia, I got sleeves on. Today. Mama come. I want to look nice for Mama, because now she will wear your tail out. Y'all think she this little sweet little old lady on the front row, but now make no mistake, but I am kind of ready to get out of this little get-up I'm in, because one of these buttons goes, somebody's going to be hurt, and I'm going to fair warn y'all. So, and let's see, it's 11:15, so I'm not going to keep y'all long. The preacher thinks I must be long-winded, have all this time left. But before we start, I want to read something that I wrote. And this is I call it, what is a mother? A mother is someone who wants her children to grow up to be healthy, successful, and a happy adult. A mother pays attention to her children, the child's nature, and responds to specific needs of each child. A mother forgives her children for their mistakes, no matter how big or how small. A mother understands her children and loves them with all of her heart. A mother is always there for her children when they need her, and teaches her children the importance of self-worth, and provides food, shelter, and love. A mother is a role model, but sets boundaries and rules. She is respectful, patient, loving, and supportive, because sometimes it's tough and hard work for a little guy to grow up. A mother is a protector, a disciplinarian, but still a friend. A mother is a selfless human that will sacrifice her own wants and her own needs for the wants and needs of her children. She will turn her attention to her little ones and turn away from her hobbies, her interests, and life's pursuits, because she knows her children is much more important. A mother knows more than she gives herself credit for. And she should never be afraid to make mistakes, because Jesus was the only perfect one. And most important, a good mother will teach her children about the love of Jesus, because she knows that with Jesus all things are possible. And I think that it's clear that mothers are a gift from God, because only God can create such a wonderful person, a person that has so much love and compassion, because after all, Jesus is love. If you are a mother today, understand that you are one of the most important people in your child's life. And even though it's hard sometimes with hard-headed youngins, God knows from the beginning that you were the right person for the job. I did that, Mom, just so you know. For me. Oh, forgive me for a prideful heart. See, preacher going to get me after service for that, see. You see, I told y'all. Y'all don't believe nothing. So I'm going to skip around in Scripture this morning. If you can follow me, that's fine. I'm going to give out the Scripture. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but I'm going to bring it all together like that beautiful bean footage. We'll bring it all together. So the first Scripture that I want to go to is 1 John chapter 2. If I start skipping around scriptures too fast, just somebody pull the reins on me, because I've got a few to cover. Good. 1 John chapter 2, it speaks about Jesus going to a wedding. And he goes to this wedding. He had all of his friends with him, his disciples, and he also had his mother with him. And I'm going to read the scripture, and then I'll explain where I'm going with this. It says, on the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Now both Jesus and his disciples were invited to the wedding, and when they had ran out of wine, the mother of Jesus said to them, they have no more wine. Jesus said to her, woman, what does your concern have to do with me? My time has not yet come. Verse 5 says, his mother said to the servant, whatever he says, do it. Jesus didn't argue with his mama. He didn't argue with his mama. What does Scripture say in the Ten Commandments? Honor your mother and father. And Jesus knew the word. He knew the law. He didn't argue. She didn't have to ask twice. She didn't have to beg Jesus to do what she says. And she knew this because when Jesus said to her, what does this have to do with me? She never said nothing else to him. She looked right at the servant and told the servant, whatever he says, do it. Because she knew that Jesus was going to do what Mama says. Now let me translate this. Let me translate this to 2020. All right? The Juice residents. Okay? Son, we have no silverware to eat. How shall we eateth our meal with no silverware? What has this got to do with me? I don't want to wash the dishes. But we have nothing to eat, and Big Beetle's going to be home soon. He's going to be hungry. I don't want to wash the dishes. Stop. Well, stop right there. Mary never asked Jesus twice. Never, ever asked Jesus twice. Mary never had to plead with Jesus. If Jesus had got out of line, Mary probably would have given him a glare. And he okay, and go over there and deal with his mama said. Not one place do you see Mary asking twice to do what she said. Not one place do you see where she had to plead and beg. It's simple. Children's, Summer, Kelsey, where's Aiden at? He around here somewhere. Mama says something, you do it. You don't argue with her. Arguing is being disrespectful. All right, now for some of the older ones out here, you hear Pastor Chris talk about when he witnesses to people, he wants to take them through the law. Have you ever stolen anything? Have you ever lied? Have you ever disrespected your mama? Uh-oh. That was one of the commandments. That's one of the laws. So if you disrespect your mother, you've broken a law with Jesus. Uh-oh. Everybody been thinking about lying and stealing and adultery. Boy, that's a whole new level there. Something as simple as just being disobedient to what your mother says. Jesus frowns on that. I'm going to leave here. I'm going to leave this alone and let y'all think about it because I'm getting some dirty looks from one of you. So I'm going to leave, and if you will, go to Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2, verse 41. And I'm going to go all the way down to verse 50. And this is for the mothers. Verse 41 says, now Jesus he's got just a little bit of age on him, you know. He ain't a teenager yet, but he ain't a baby no more neither. I believe Jesus is old enough to know better. Yeah, look up. Yeah, Jesus is old enough to know better. It says his parents, talking about Jesus, his parents went to Jerusalem every year for the feast and the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, Edward. When he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem according to the custom of the feast. When they had finished the day and they returned, the boy Jesus lingered behind in Jerusalem. And Joseph and his mother did not know it. But supposing that he had been in the company, and they went a day's journey and sought him among their relatives and acquaintances. So when they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem seeking him. Now so it was that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers, both listening to them and asking questions. And all who heard him were astonished at his understanding and his answers. So when they saw him, they were amazed, and his mother said to him, "Son, why have you done this to us? Look, your father and I have sought you anxiously." He said to them, "Why did you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my father's business?" But she did not understand the statement in which he spoke. So everybody understands Jesus didn't go back with his mama. According to her, he was lost. Now, Jesus knew where he was, but mama didn't know that. Okay? Have y'all ever prayed about something or especially got a answer from God or a vision from God, and so many years later it just slips your mind and you don't so much think about it? I mean, we have human minds. Okay, I remember one time that I got a vision from the Lord, and the Lord, he literally explained everything. Everything just fell into place, and he explained exactly what I was praying about. Now, that was 10, 15 years ago. Some of the same things happen in life, and I said, "Lord, why did this happen? Why?" And after a while, after praying and whining, he shows me, "I've already answered this. Do you remember what happened this date? I've already answered this." And you know, when things happen, you forget about the past. And he's already answered the question, but he has to remind you. I believe with all my heart that Mary wasn't worried about him being the Son of God. She wasn't worried about him being the Messiah. She wasn't worried about what he was here to do. Mary, not at one time did she think back of what Gabriel told her the night she conceived. The only thing she knew was her child was missing, and he had to be found right away. He says, "Son, why have you done this to us?" She didn't say, "Lord, why did you do this to us?" Messiah, Rabbi. She didn't say none of that. "Son, why have you done this to us?" That was 100% motherly instinct that kicked in on Mary's behalf. She wasn't thinking about what's to come or what has already happened. All she knew was her son needed her, and he had to be found. That's called good motherly instincts. And motherly instincts come in many different forms. A mother has a protective instinct. She has a teaching instinct. She has the instinct to provide for her children. I don't know a time when one of my 3 children have not had a coat. I don't know one time that they've missed a meal, unless they've done it to themselves. A mother is a provider. Daddy can't always be home. A mother shows understanding when her child messes up or makes mistakes. They're little guys, they don't know no better. They have to be taught. Understanding and the teaching goes hand in hand. Help form a bond. And that's a bond that between a mother and a child, in most cases, that's a bond that can't be broke. My mama's my best friend. That wasn't always like that. I was a terror. Am I lying? Don't be afraid. You around family. I was a terror. Mary, me and Ty, we were terrorists. You know. But out of all the mistakes I made, my mother loved me through it all. She didn't get mad at me. She didn't shun me away. She didn't make me do without. She loved me through my mistakes. And my mom was my best friend. I tell her everything. You don't want my mama to know, don't tell me no secret. If it's something I think she can help with, I tell my mama everything. And in Mary's case, this was a protective instinct in which she was showing at the time. How many times has your mother worried about you? You know, some of you, I see some of you just close your eyes. I know you're thinking back. How many times has your mother worried about you? You've done something kind of far out left field. Look, that right there, when it comes to me and my brother and my sister, that's the nosiest woman in Martin County. That's the nosiest woman in Martin County. Where you been? Where are you going? My brother, how old's Tom? I don't know. My brother's 29. Where are you going? Who are you with? I just turned 40. What are you doing over there? What are you doing? Mama, don't worry about that. They ain't got nothing to do with you. I want to know. It's none of your business, Mama. And the next thing you'll hear is, you are my children. You are my business. Mama, I'm 40 years old. Don't matter. You still my baby. And then when she says something like that, then my heart gets soft. And I'm like, okay, Mom, this is what's going on. You know, it might not be something you really want to tell her. You know you're going to get fussed at, but I'll tell her anyway. You know. No, this woman in Martin County. But she's that way because she loves us and she wants the best for us. Just like your mothers want the best for you. She asks questions. Hey, mamas, ask questions. I'm telling you now, ask questions. Inquire about your children. If I can't tell you nothing else today, inquire about your children. Because there's going to come a time when my boys can't be home all the time. They're going to get their driver's license. They're going to want to experience things. And you can't always, as mothers, you can't always be around them 24/7. And there's peer pressure out there. There's so many. Look, the enemy is busy. And he don't care how old you are. He don't care how old you are. And he'll use the ones that love you the most to try to hurt you. Including your children. Inquire about your children. Know where they are. Give them knowledge and wisdom. Look, they might not want to hear it. Look, you don't need to hang around him. I seen him doing things he ain't supposed to be doing. You don't need to hang around him. Probably listen, probably not. Probably ain't gonna listen. But inquire about your children. Know where they are. Don't be afraid to ask them questions. How many times has your mother been a shoulder for you to lean on? I said, that's my biggest thing. Mama's my rock. She is. Sometimes I'm afraid to share her. Y'all see who I'm married to? I'm afraid to tell her stuff. I tell Mama. Mothers can be a shoulder for you to lean on in many different ways. Whether it's financial help. A lot of times my mama has helped me financially when I didn't have enough sense to provide for myself. She can give you advice. She can be a shoulder to cry on. And with that bond that I talked about earlier, she can be your friend too. Now, of course, she's got to set rules and boundaries, and you have to follow the rules. And in most cases, depending on the age of your children, when you enforce the rules, they get mad at you. But they'll want something from the dollar store later. But they'll get mad at you, but you have to enforce the rules because as parents, we are to train our children up. As Christians, we are to train our children up in the ways of the Lord. Now, yeah, the man is in charge of the house. But we're not always there. You know, we got to go to work. So if we're not there, that's big shoes for a mama to fill. And she's got a lot on her. She's got to be a disciplinarian if Dad ain't there. She's got to be a teacher, instructor. And I don't know about y'all, but I believe that mothers are truly a gift from God. I cannot do, see, like right now, I can't deal with that. I'll be done and popped them already. See, I can't deal with that. Mothers have things that fathers don't have, as far as patience, understanding. Come here. Yeah, we'll take him back, young. Go on. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so anyway, thank God for mothers. So see what I mean? See, a mother is a gift from God. So I couldn't deal with that on a daily basis. And I'm gonna tell you what. Now Cheryl's built like a tank. She's built like a tank. With honestly what she deals with. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. You know, getting beat up sometimes. Spiritually and emotionally. Maybe not physically, but a mother can get beat down sometimes, get overwhelmed with things. And now with this whole mess going on now where they're out of school, a mother's got to be a teacher. That's something that mothers have never had to do before. I failed math, that's a wrap for me. Okay? But that's things that she's not had to do before. I'm sure it's things mothers have never had to experience before. But that gift from God, that intuition, is why you can endure it. And I'm going to tell y'all something. God knows that you're the right person for the job. I know there's times when you don't think so. Actually, I know there's times you don't think so. But I'm telling y'all, God knew you the person for the job. Because when He made you, and Amy, and Mary, when He made y'all, He knew right then who your children were going to be. He knew right then who you were going to be. He knew right then how you were going to raise them. And He knew when He looked at His master plan, and He read that out. He said, you know what? Mary is not the right person for Aiden. But I got Ashley over here. She's just right. She's perfect. When He looked at Cheryl and looked at those 3 boys she was going to have, He knew they were coming. Looked at those 3 boys. This is the perfect vessel to handle this. And there's times you don't think so. There's times y'all think y'all are failures. I know. There's times y'all are overwhelmed. But God said He's not going to put nothing no more on you than you can handle. You're just overwhelmed with it right now. You might have to take a step back. But God knew from the beginning that you were the right one for the job. And you know how I know that? Because the God I serve don't make mistakes. He don't make mistakes. He knew from the get-go that you're the right person for the job. So if ever you guys feel like you're just overwhelmed, you just remember Big Beetle said, I'm the right one for the job. Why? Because Jesus said so. If y'all take anything with y'all today, because all these youngins are out of school, they're running all over the place, you take anything with you today, you just remember that God said you're the right one for the job. Because if you wasn't, you wouldn't be in the situation you're in. He knows your strength, and He knows your worth. And mothers, y'all are worth more than y'all give yourselves credit for sometimes. Even though you make mistakes. So what? Children are resilient. You just got to keep on keeping on. All right? A mother will always be by your side. It don't matter what you've done. She'll always be there for you. I'm going to jump over to, and now you don't have to turn because it's just one line. I'm going to jump over to John chapter 19, verse 25. It said, now there stood by the cross was Jesus, His mother, and His mother's sister. Everything Jesus went through, Mary never left His side. Even though He was innocent, She never left his side. Now, I remember a guy when I worked at the prison. And it's funny, me, Sarge, and Pastor Chris always got prison stories. I remember a guy that worked at the prison. Not going to get into it a whole lot, but he committed a very heinous crime towards one of his immediate family members. And his mother come and saw him religiously. And another officer asked that mother one day while escorting her out, he said, well, if this, and this happened, why do you come and see him? And the answer was simple. Because he's my son and I love him. So it don't matter how bad of a mistake you've made, your mama loves you. And she'll always be by your side, and she'll never leave you. As we get older and we start to grow into adulthood, start having children of our own, it's important that we don't forget our mothers. And that's a lot of what I see on a day-to-day basis now, because I'm not in the age group of youngins no more. And I see different people I know, I run into their parents, and I ain't seen them in 5 or 6 months. Always make arrangements for your mother. Take care of her. If it's nothing but go see her. Show her honor and respect. John 19 also says, he said to his mother, woman, behold your son. And then he said to the disciple, behold your mother. So Jesus knew he wasn't going to be here. And what he done right there, he made arrangements for his mother to be taken care of like she should be taken care of. Because at the end of the day, no matter how you slice it, your mother had to take care of you. From dirty diapers to learning how to ride a bike, skinning your knee, your mother has always taken care of you. So in return, you should take care of her. Not forget her. Go see her. Spend some time with her, because you only have one mother. Deuteronomy, and I'm going to close with this, Deuteronomy 5:16. Well, I reckon I'm going to close. I don't know what time it is, but Pastor Chris will come up here and run with it. He got plenty of time, brother. Deuteronomy 5:16. It's that has no age limit. A lot of people think that's for children. You got to be good to your mom. That's no age limit. That's me. If your mother is still here with us, that's you. That's my boys. There's no age limit on that. So if your mother's still here, make sure you love her today. If she's not close by, give her a phone call. Because it's not easy for her either. That's all I got, brother. That's all on you.